The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Let's say you find a cherished family photo of you, your spouse, and your daughter when she was still a little girl. You can't find the negative, but you ask a local photo shop to make some prints from the original. When you go to pick up the prints, they look like this. Call it what you want. Doctoring, manipulating, tampering, photoshopping. But would there be any doubt in your mind that the original photo had been altered? Of course not, because you shouldn't have anything on the copy that wasn't on the original print. It's just common sense. In our second example, we'll make a photocopy of the original print. Once you place the original print on the glass and then turn it face down and hit the start button, would you expect what comes out of the machine to look like this? Wouldn't you immediately be saying, hey, where did this Obot clown come from? Of course you would, because you shouldn't have anything on the copy that wasn't on the original. Again, it's just common sense. Before we dive into our third example, we'll need to explain what a clipping mask is. Think of a clipping mask as something that allows you to trim away from an image without really losing what you trim away. In this case, I want to trim the image into an oval shape. So I place an oval over the photograph, and then I have to come down here and play with my stroke and fill tool. Next, I'll need to select both the oval and the photograph, because that's the only way a clipping mask is going to work. Next, I tell Adobe Illustrator to make the mask, and voila, there we have it, a picture in an oval shape. And the cool thing is, we didn't lose any of that material we trimmed away. It's still there. Now, when we lift the clipping mask, we still see the original photo. Now, it's important to note we don't see anything that wasn't there in the first place. It's also important to note that we had to set this clipping mask to hide information. That's not something that comes from merely scanning a document into a computer. Now that you understand the concept of a clipping mask, we'll begin our third and final example, once again using our family portrait, only this time we'll be using a photo that's printed all the way to the edge of the paper. We do not have the white trim that we had before. First, we place the portrait back on our all-in-one scanner, photocopier, and printer. But this time, instead of copying it, we scan it into a computer and open it in Adobe Illustrator. At first, everything looks exactly as it should. The image in the computer looks exactly like the portrait we scanned in. But then we notice a clipping mask and decide to shut it off. There's that Obot clown again. Is this even possible in the real world? The short answer is no, it's not. Because as we've already discussed, in the real world, you shouldn't have anything on a copy that wasn't on the original, and that includes information on a copy that's hidden behind a clipping mask. Hopefully, we're now clear on two things. A clipping mask that hides information does not set itself and is proof of human manipulation of a document. Secondly, you shouldn't have anything hidden behind a clipping mask that isn't on the original. On April 27, 2011, Barack Obama called a press conference to show the world a certified copy of his long-form birth certificate. In keeping with his campaign promise to run a completely transparent administration, cameras were not allowed, the president did not take questions on the matter, and the actual certified copy that he received from Hawaii was not put on display. However, the media was given this poor quality photocopy, and what we were told was a scan of his certified long-form birth certificate was posted on the official White House website. But apparently the no looking, no touching, no taking a picture rule did not apply to Savannah Guthrie of NBC News, who filed this report.
Well, Brian, I was actually given an opportunity to look at this birth certificate today. I felt the raised seal. I saw the names, the date, the place of birth, Honolulu, Hawaii.
Miss Guthrie also sent out a tweet boasting that she had felt the raised seal and had snapped a picture of the certified copy of Barack Obama's long-form birth certificate. This is the picture that Miss Guthrie took of the full document. It is very important to note that the certified copy Miss Guthrie photographed is also the same certified copy that was used to make the scanned image posted at whitehouse.gov. We know this because the hand-placed date stamp and the hand-placed registrar's seal line up perfectly on both documents. So, we shouldn't have anything hidden behind a clipping mask on the White House scanned image that was not on the Guthrie photo to begin with. When we open the image posted at whitehouse.gov inside of Adobe Illustrator, at first everything looks as it should. When the clipping mask is shut off, however, we find hand-drawn markings that were not on the certified long form photographed by Savannah Guthrie. Let's zoom in on this. Please note that the markings look very similar to the vital statistics coding in box 12A. As we look around the document, we immediately notice that whoever coded it had a habit of leaving their loops open, which suggests that the markings in the lower right-hand portion of the document, hidden behind the clipping mask, might have been made by the same person who coded the document. One last point. The handwritten markings are not the only thing that appear behind the clipping mask. When you turn the clipping mask on and off, we see additional background pattern as well. Our conclusion? The PDF file posted on the official White House website could not have been made by scanning in the long-form birth certificate photographed by Savannah Guthrie.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.